take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, it's Mr. FSP, doing what I do to do with you. My neck is still hurting. My body is aching because the weather up here, listen, if you ever have any metal or any injuries in your body, you need to be in a warm climate because you will feel everything, and I mean everything. In your body. I have felt so, yeah, my body's feeling it. Let me just put it that way. It is feeling it. But I'm here. I'm making it happen. Along with me is my co-host, JT ATM Money. JT, say hello to the people. We can't play that. I don't own any rights to it. Why are you trying to get me in trouble?
I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
What?
He is, ladies and gentlemen, because he knows we can't play copyrighted
Your
music.
opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself. You ain't make me, so you can't break me. You didn't build me, so you can't kill me. You know what? God established me. So you ain't nothing you can do to me. I've been him. I've been a difference maker, a game changer. I've been that guy. So what will change? Not a darn thing. I'm not even playing the game, and you got an opinion of me. I love it, but I don't care. And I wish the world thought like that. Youngsters, if you're out there right now, do not give a darn what opinion people have of you. Long as that opinion is not consistent of that of yourself. You be you. I'm not planning to make you feel good about me. I already feel good about me. I'm good. Message for the youngsters out there. And the old,
All right, cut
school.
that.
Hey, people.
That's good.
Hey.
That's good.
That's me in a nutshell.
In a
That's
nutshell or a nutshell? Because if you're
That's me
nipping,
in a nutshell. That's me. Hey, I have a better opinion about me. Okay? What makes you think I care about what you think?
ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Off air, he wasn't even like this. He was like, okay. Now he all hyped up.
The camera's on. The camera's on and I'm on.
Oh, so you're fake. You're faking for the bacon.
No,
oh
I'm not
God.
faking. No, I'm faking.
Ooh, my neck.
I'm just
All right.
observing myself.
Okay, well, two things. Not much football going on outside of the combine.
I'm excited.
But you asked the question off air about the Commanders changing their name. And I didn't answer it completely before we got on air. This is something that Josh Harris and his group said they were going to do, possibly do, after last season. They aren't happy with the name. The fans aren't happy with the name. So we're going to change the name. And I hope, and to couple that, the city has got the rights back to RFK. So where the new stadium might be RFK 2.0, retractable roof to bring in the Super Bowl. That's part of it. Name change along with ownership change along with new stadium. And it's not called FedEx anymore because they took back they opted out. So Washington is doing a whole new thing. But we're here to talk about what you like. You like them running backs.
Yes, sir, man. I'm
Like
excited.
them running backs.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
We got the quarterbacks, even though the top two quarterbacks or top 3 quarterbacks might not throw. We know 2 aren't for sure. Jalen Daniels and Caleb Williams.
Come on, man.
I got an idea about Caleb Williams, and he's from my area, and he literally went to school right around the corner from my high school. And I'm getting a thought process, but I'll save it when we talk about it. But we got some receivers. But the best receiver he's acting like his father. I'm gonna say that. The best receiver is acting like his father.
Yep.
And back then it was okay. But this is a different era.
You think so, huh?
So
you think so, huh?
we'll see. We'll see. But I will say this. This current era has way more control than that era ever did.
Yeah.
So I can understand it. Do I like it or agree with it? We'll talk about that. But I'm going to open up the floor to you because I've been getting at home like 7 p.m. at night, and that's 10 p.m. East Coast time. So I haven't been able to see a lot of the combine outside of replays, and I'm half tired when it's on. So I'm opening up the floor to you. Let's talk about some things you saw during the week, and then we're going to jump directly into the running backs as they hit the field.
Okay, man. I'm excited. I said on the chat, in our league chat, I'm excited, and I get a response, maybe. I get a response, maybe.
Yeah,
people,
because you can't tell me what we're going to do on my show.
People, listen to me. Listen to me, please. Please don't pay attention to Mr. FSP.
What?
Please, don't
this
pay
is
attention.
my show. Don't pay attention to me.
On this subject, listen to me, people. Okay?
What? Oh, you're feeling yourself.
What I posted on the chat was this. What you're going to see, and this is not by accident. This is done on purpose for the NFL. They had the defensive linemen, linebackers on Thursday. They had the tight ends and DBs, which normally finish the show. DBs normally finish the combine are on Friday. And they purposely, this is for fantasy purposes, people. That's what I'm saying. You watching today, you're watching future fantasy relevant players. And I get a maybe. No, they ain't no maybe.
First of all, hold on.
This is a
your
showcase.
rant.
No,
I feel your rant. I understand your rant.
You gave me this.
Stick to the subject. Don't be attacking. Don't be attacking.
I'm not attacking. I'm just saying you gave me a maybe.
Because I didn't know if that's all I wanted to talk about. There's UFC on today that I want to talk about as well.
Oh, okay, maybe. I'll give you a maybe for that.
Whatever. We talking UFC.
Okay, what I'm saying is this. What I talk about every Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the right behind.
Not every Sunday, y'all.
It's
not reason. Every Sunday.
What I try to, let me put it this way. Unless I had extenuating circumstances, I'm on 10 a.m. Eastern Time on a Sunday morning talking about fantasy relevant players.
Okay.
This is a showcase on purpose by the NFL. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs are showcasing today, people. This is what you should be paying attention to. These are future stars, regardless of where they're drafted. These are future stars of the NFL and of fantasy. Running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers. That's why I'm so excited about this, because the NFL has never done this before. Never put all three of them together in the same thing.
Time out. Remember how I wanted it structured? I wanted you to talk about what you saw before today and then get into that.
Well, let me okay, I'll put it in a nutshell. Because and this is I did this on purpose. I didn't watch on Thursday. I didn't watch on Friday that much. So I can't.
What about Wednesday and Tuesday?
There's no Wednesday and Tuesday. Thursday is the first day of the actual viewing of players on the NFL.
Because they were there Tuesday, Wednesday. Got it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm saying is this. I caught a quick glimpse of some tight ends can't report on the tight ends. I was looking for this.
It was a small group of tight ends too, by the way.
Yeah,
it was very small.
This is the crux of fantasy football, people. Crux of fantasy football. Future stars. These are the main stars. You're going to get defensive players. You're going to get tight ends, but these are the big stars that you're going to see in fantasy. Some sleepers, things like that. I'm excited about this. Running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks.
Yes, and right now, the first running backs up from TCU, he's 5'7", 202 pounds. Imani Bailey, he's about to run the first 40 of the day. Brooks, who is the supposed best running back of the crop, is injured and can't participate. And that says a lot to me. When you have a player that is said to be the best at that position, right, have a foot injury and can't participate, so everybody else is there to try to make some hay. There probably will not be a running back selected in the first round. There probably will only be, and this will be the first time in a long time, I think, that you have less than 5 defensive players selected in the first round. So I agree with you when you say, this is the fantasy, whatever you said it was, because you showcase the NFL is smart. No one said it, they're not. But you showcase what brings everybody to the yard on your most busy days, which are the weekend. Times past, they will open up with the running backs and all that other stuff, and end with the D-backs and all that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Well, there aren't that many good D-backs this year. There are a few. Aren't that many standout linebackers. Defensive line, offensive line, pretty good, but they're not money makers like Jerry's talking about. When you have so much offensive talent coming out, but some of it isn't participating, does that taint the fantasy value of showing these players on the weekend, Jerry?
Yes. I mean, this is huge, man. If you're any kind of fantasy player, you want to pay attention to this to today, regardless of the other days. I know you're in IDPs and some leagues are IDPs, individual defensive players, but this is the crux. This is the premier day that you want to concentrate on of future stars that may be in the NFL in fantasy, and get a leg up on people that say maybe, and get a leg up on people that downplay what's happening today.
Blake Corum ran a 4.53. That's not going to be good for him. He's a power back to be a little small guy, but a 4.5 is not good.
Let me tell you something. I just saw this guy here. I liked him before he ran. And he's near the top of the running backs, and he ran a 4.39.
Yes, that was
Trey Benson.
Go ahead.
And he fits into my wheelhouse. He's 5'11", 5'10", maybe 6 feet, and over 200 pounds. Right in my perfect running back wheelhouse.
We'll see how his hands are when they do the hands drills.
He can catch a football. I'm telling you right now, he can catch a football. Okay. I'm not even worried about that.
Well, let's talk about this then. Out of the running backs participating today, who do you expect to perform well in the underwear Olympics?
I just talked
outside of that guy, because you just talked about him. Outside of him, because he ran a fast time, but who other than him?
How about the kid from and I can't think of his name, from Kentucky, the kid from Oregon, the kid from and I can't think of the names right now. But how about Jalen Wright from Tennessee? How about Audric Estrom? He probably won't run a quick time. More than likely, he will not run a quick time. How about Ray Davis from Kentucky? That's what I'm talking about. And Bucky
Ray
Irvin.
Davis just ran a 4.53. He just ran a 4.53.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. He's a big back. He's a decent big back. 4.53 it's all right. Let me put it that way. It's not like 4.67 like the first person that ran. It's 4.53 is decent for a running back. It's not blazing speed, but it's good speed for a running back.
Well, you have a lineman that beat them all.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, I mean
A
that
defensive
happens.
lineman
Let me put it this
and
way.
an offensive lineman ran faster.
You're
than
going to
these
get
back
you're and there was a guy who ran 4.49. So I mean, you're going to get an outlier like that because that's just what it is. These guys train for this event, so some guys quite naturally are quicker than others. That I mean, does it translate to the field? Running a straight line? Does it translate? Do you have football speed? Let me put it that way. Do you have football speed? That's what counts. And I'm looking. Here's Audric Estem, and he's 5'11", 221 from Notre Dame.
He ran a slow time.
Wait a minute.
He ran a slow time.
I'm behind you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm behind you. 4.72 is awful. Awful.
That's what I just said. He ran a bad time.
Awful. Hey.
But here's the thing. And that's why I call it the Underwear Olympics. And people, if you're out there watching or listening, feel free to chime in, put your comments on whatever platform you're watching this on. It'll pop up, we'll respond, we might post. But you said it, running in a straight line. Oftentimes than not, that's not what happens in a game. You're not going to get a free running person without pads on, without a ball in their hands, without the extra weight. 4.33, Isaac Guerrero or Garando from Louisville. That's very fast for a guy that's about 6 foot.
He's 6 foot 221.
Yeah, 221 running a 4.33.
Like I said, I'm behind you. My time is behind you. So you're saying something I haven't seen yet.
Well, you and Q like to do that when I'm behind. So now you know how I feel. But it's okay. It's okay. Now
I'm going to get you because you did it to me. I'm going to get you because you.
That's not what I said.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say that's why I did it. What I'm saying is,
wait a minute.
When y'all do it, I don't always.
It's the same thing. That's saying the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's a different way of saying it.
No,
come on, man. Stop.
But the point is, you have these running backs.
Yep.
You have these players. Frank Gore has been at the combine all week, and now he's being an advisor for the 49ers. Are they really? Because he was in the booth before. Now he's down in the stands.
Right.
Are they looking to replace or get ready to replace Christian McCaffrey because of what you said many times this past season? Your boy Bucky Irvin just ran a 4.56, by the way.
Will you please
slow
down, please?
Okay. But the point I'm making is, are they already planning to replace CMC because the wear and tear of that offense?
No, but you do need a decent backup just in case.
You don't think Elijah Mitchell's decent?
Who? Isaiah Mitchell? He can't stay healthy. He cannot stay healthy. He's always banged up one way or the other. Why do you think it took so long for him to come back last season? Because he was hurt. Why do you think it took so long for him to come back the previous season? But because he was hurt. He's always hurt. The best ability is availability. You've heard that before. And
of course.
And he's not available because he's always hurt. He's not, let me put it this way. He's not an every down back. He's the type of back he's being used as is the type of back he is. Put him in and spell CMC for now.
I got you. I don't know if you've seen Dylan Johnson run yet, but when you do, tell me, because I have a big comment about him once he runs.
He's from Washington.
Yes, University of Washington.
Okay, let's see what he does right now.
I already know what he did. I'm just saying.
I know you know.
But
That's what I'm saying. Let's see what he does right now.
this goes into the lines of production.
It doesn't look too fast. 4.68.
Correct. Now
it's horrible for a running back.
But his production in that offense or running the ball, he's a power back that can explode away from you. And he, during the semifinals and the finals, played when he probably shouldn't have played, but he did it for his team.
Well, let me just say this. Anybody who's under 5'10" and under 200 pounds.
No, he's over 200. What are you talking about?
Wait a minute. I'm not just saying him. I'm just saying any back, because I'm seeing the back right now. And I haven't seen him run yet. But if he's under 5'10", in my opinion, and under 200 pounds, you better run a quick 40. You better run a quick 40. If you don't, you're useless to me as a running back.
So here's the thing I'm going to say about the running backs. If none of these guys are going to be vied for as a starter, all of them need to be special teams ready, because there are only 32 starting running back positions. And for the most part, they're taken for the most part. Even their backups are taken. And a lot of teams don't keep 3 and 4 tailbacks because they want to keep extra linemen. They want to keep extra receivers. They want to keep extra defensive players. And the devaluation of the running back. So when we look at it, how important is it for these folks today to increase their stock? Meaning, I don't think you have but 1 or 2 players that are running back that will probably get picked in the first 2 rounds this year.
Well, let me put it this way. In my opinion, 0 in the first round. 0 in the first round.
I agree, because Brooks is hurt.
And middle of the second, at the very least. At the very least. Middle of the second and down after that. Middle of the second, 3rd round. These are the type backs. And I have to disagree with you, because I think some of these backs, you say they're devalued. Okay. They may not be first round backs that are going to be looking to be starters. They're 2nd and 3rd round backs and on that some of them are going to be starters. The reason I say this is look at what happened in Minnesota. Look what has happened to the Giants. Look what happened to the Giants. Look what happened to some of these players are going to be starters. Because
but that's what I'm saying, Jerry. How many teams are going into the season willing to carry 3 and 4 running backs, tailbacks that may be a starter or may see some time in the offensive backfield? They have to be special team players, whether it's returning, whether it's personal protector, whether it's whatever it is. I believe, like Blake Corum, that kid is a monster.
No,
but he's short in stature.
Yep, that's
right.
That's,
and
that's
he ran a bad 40 time his first time.
And he's not a good pass block. He's not a good pass blocker.
And we'll see what his second time is, but we know he's productive.
But he's not a good pass blocker.
Kid, Dylan Johnson from Washington. We know the kid has power. We know the kid can run away from the pack, but his game speed is somewhat better than his 40 speed. Jerry Rice is a prime example. I know he's not a running back, but Jerry Rice was a slow 40. But when Jerry Rice caught that post and Larry Fitzgerald, both had slow 40s, but when they caught the post or the slant or whatever, and they split the defenders, they weren't caught. So could it be that some of these running backs, that their film does them more justice than this combine?
Well, no. Let me put it this way. The overall picture of these running backs, the overall picture of these running backs is going to tell the story. I can tell you right now that Blake Corum, I'm trying to think who else, Bucky Urban are not good pass protectors. Are not good. So they're not 3-down backs. They're change of pace type of backs. They're change of pace. And like you said, special teams. But there's players in here that can catch the football, and are effective in pass blocking, like Trey Benson, and that are going to be starters. I can tell you at least six of these backs that are going to be going through the combine are going to be relevant. They're going to be relevant in fantasy. They're going to be relevant. At least 6 of these running backs are going to be relevant. At least 6. And one of them is not even participating. Okay. And that's Jonathan Brooks. He's going to be relevant. He's going to be relevant. And I said this last week on my show, on my brief show last week, that my favorite colleges for running backs is Georgia and now Texas. Texas, last season, I talked about, quite naturally, a lot of people talked about Bijan Robinson. I talked about Rashawn Johnson. They're 2 very good backs that came out of Texas. And now Jonathan Brooks, who's injured late in last year, is another good back. 6 foot, 210, 215, perfect size running back, can catch the football and have good speed on the field. But he's not participating that much. Okay? You got Trey Benson. That's 2 players right now that I know are going to get picked in the second round. Those are second-round players. Those players are going to be relevant in fantasy. Some of these other players, you have to wait and see. Height, weight, and speed is makes a big difference for me in all these running backs. You got to be, if you're under 5'10", 5'9", 5'3", and 5'9" 3/4, and under 200 pounds, you got to run quick. You got to be quick. If you're not, then what?
Well, that's my point about their production and their tape. That even you just said a little while ago, what is running a straight line going to do? And that's my point, that these guys were productive on their teams in systems that featured them and what they could do best. So running a 40 might improve a player's likelihood of getting drafted that was going to be a lower round draft pick. But it doesn't change, in my opinion, the position of some of these other players. Now that goes into the conversation of why Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams, Daniels, and others have chosen not to participate.
I don't know.
Now, I'm going to go with Caleb. No, let me go with Marvin Harrison Jr. first.
Yeah, okay.
I mentioned at the top of the show that he's, I guess, acting more like his dad. His dad was quiet. His dad didn't talk to the media. His dad was a loner, even though Peyton Manning, was his guy or whatever. There was not a lot of Marvin Harrison to be seen throughout the papers. It was just numbers. Well, earlier in the week, Marvin Harrison Jr. Said he wasn't even going to go to the combine. Then it became, I'm going to come to the combine, but I'm not going to do anything except talk to a couple of teams. Then it became, all right, I'm going to come to the combine. I'm going to do my medical, but I'm not doing anything else. So basically, he ended up doing the medics, coming, and then promptly leaving. not talking to media because he was set to talk to the media. He did not show up. He was gone. And I'm going to say this about Marvin Harrison Jr. He may be the most polished and NFL-ready receiver, but he has an injury history. He's got knocked out a couple games, couple times in college. So I'm thinking concussions might be a problem for him. But he doesn't drop out of the top 5. One team is either going to move up to get him, or a team already in the top 5 is going to draft him. He's made a business decision. Why? Because of Neal.
Yep.
This goes into Daniels and Williams as well.
Yep.
They make so much money, which is fine, and I agree with it, that they don't have to go to the Underwear Olympics to improve their stock, because their tape, as well as Neal, speaks for itself. They have the money. Harrison Jr. has a father that's a millionaire, and I'm quite sure he wants his son to have his own money, so on and so forth. But he doesn't need to showcase all of his talents in this event or these events because of what he's put on tape.
Yeah, but
I want to get your thoughts on that.
let me ask you this. You think that's a negative? I think that's a negative, because it doesn't you're not motivated enough, because you got.
I don't think it's a negative, but go ahead, finish. I'll answer once you finish.
What I'm saying is this. Okay, I got some nil money. Okay, nil money shouldn't make a difference on your performance on the field. Okay, nil money is just to say we want you to play for us, but you got to put the work in. You got to make it on tape. Put good tape on to be able to go to the next level. And if you don't show that incentive of showcasing your talent to the next level, what kind of incentive? What does that say about your drive? Your drive.
Well,
what does that say about your drive?
I'll say this, because the question is, you're questioning the person's willingness and wanting to play the game of football. In some cases, I think it's a good thing. Some cases, I think it's a bad thing, because we've seen players lose money by running and doing stuff in the combine, popping a hamstring, doing all types of stuff, right? This is an investment in their NFL future. I would say, when you look at these coaches that decided they're not going to show up to the combine, what does that say about them and their dedication to improving their team? Wait.
I totally agree.
So when we say, what does it say about the player? The player's making a business decision. I've already proven over 2-3 years, sometimes 4, of what I can do on the field and what I add in value to your team. And Caleb Williams said it during his interview, it's only a few teams that are going to try to get him, or that can get him. This is why I also had a problem with him too. It's only a few people that can come get me. So I'm not going to do medical for everybody. Medical is like 5 hours long at the combine. It's not as long when you go to a team, or a team comes to you, whatever the case may be, and it's a controlled environment. So I think about what Deion said. He ran his 40. He was sitting down with the Giants, walked out because the Giants weren't going to be anywhere near able to come get him. So that was a waste of his time. Now, back then, there was money being handed out. It wasn't called nil. And I don't know if Deion had any of that. I don't know. Not saying he did. But when the players takes the stance of an owner, of a coach, of a general manager, the player gets vilified. I'm not vilifying Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm just saying, yeah, at least talk to the media, right? You have every right to not, want to do the testing that they have everybody do there. That has nothing to do, honestly, with what you have done and what has gotten you to be projected that high, because no one in that group is going to perform at the combine that well that they leapfrog you as a number one receiver. Now, Duzier is there. He's going to do some stuff. And the kid from LSU, who people say,
Which one?
They say both receivers are just as good as Harrison Jr.
Yep.
But and they're both going to be there today, and they're both going to perform. But I guarantee you, they don't have the background or the body of work. They have maybe 1 or 2 years worth of work, whereas Harrison Jr. has the lineage, and he has that 3 years of work. So in his case, I'm like, okay, I got you. I understand. You're not going to do it, but at least talk to the people. Now, when we go to Daniels and Williams, I'm going to say that Williams, okay, last year he would have been the first overall pick, not Bryce Young. This year, he's the first overall pick. But the baggage that people have put on him, and he's kind of added on himself being a prima donna.
Yep.
So to speak. Not saying I agree with that statement, but being that way is a red flag to some people, right? And one question he was asked by Kirk Morrison this week, I'm going to say yesterday, was how competitive are you? And, so on and so forth. And he talked about he doesn't like losing at all and da-da-da-da-da. And he talked about the crying situation after they lost the game last year.
Oh.
And it was more on the lines of dealing with disappointment. And he equated leaving OU, University of Oklahoma, and going to USC, where USC was like 4-7 the year before, or 4-8 the year before. So he understands going to a team that needs improvement and that he can be that improvement. The difference is are his emotions going to get the better of him, because he made a ton of nil money. He's just like Lamar. He does not have an agent. His dad is the de facto agent, but I don't think he's sorry. I don't think his dad completed the necessary training or certifications that the NFL put in place after the Lamar situation. But we look at it and say, this man, the rumors, he wants an ownership stake in whatever team that drafts him. Well, the NFL already said by their laws that's not possible.
That ain't happening.
So I'm gonna chalk that up as a rumor. Rumors are his dad has gone around and asked about, this, that, and the third.
This ain't college, man. I understand.
I know. I understand that.
But they don't. But it seems like they don't understand that. Okay.
Well, it's a business, and they're leaving the game of football. My point is, these players are leaving the game of football on the sideline, while the part of the business world, which is this stuff, the combine, and everything else, to the forefront. They're taking control over what it is they do and what it is they don't do. And that's the part I can understand. But Caleb has a couple of things. I see RG3.
Yeah, same here, man.
I see RG3, and I love RG3.
Well, a lot of people did.
But once RG3 lost his mobility, he was less than average of a quarterback. I'm not saying that Caleb Williams, because if you look at Caleb Williams' numbers, his pocket percentage of completions is in the 30s. Off script plays, 60-70 range. So is he not reading the coverage right? Or is he locked in on a certain player way too long? These are the things I'm talking about.
You talking about red flags? You talking about flags?
Yeah, because he's got a big arm. He's very charismatic.
Yeah,
he can create. They're comparing him athletically to Pat Mahomes, and Pat Mahomes in the pocket. When he's in the pocket, 9 times out of 10, he's going to Kelsey or he's going to a check down. Rarely is he going downfield unless it's somebody with speed like Tyreek from the pocket. And we're looking at the Bears and the Commanders to possibly get him. And the Commanders have his former offensive coordinator from USC, and he's happy about that. But Washington cannot move up to number 1 just to get him. I honestly think the Bears aren't going to draft him number 1. I honestly believe that.
Okay. Hey, okay. Hey.
But that's my take on that. What is your take on him and the situation with the quarterbacks and Marvin not participating to protect their brand, so to speak?
Let me. Well, that's to me that's an excuse. Come on, man. Come on. You're putting yourself above this combine. That's what to showcase your talents. So you don't want to showcase them. You're not doing anything really physical, but the sprint. Okay. You're not, especially quarterbacks. You're not doing anything in the physical that's going to affect your health besides throwing the football, and that's not game situation throwing football. The only thing you're doing is that can cause injury is the 40-yard dash. So, I mean, okay, you're not going to participate in throwing drills. You're not going to participate in the other events. Come on, really? You're going to put yourself because you go to my tape. That's what you're saying. Go to my tape. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There's good tape and bad tape. What tape do you want me to go to, Caleb? What tape do you want me to go to? There's good tape and bad tape. Okay. Let me put it this way. So you go and showcase and have a willingness and not talk about I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And nitpicking, not nitpicking, but picking certain things that you're going to do and certain things you're not going to do. One, I'm talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. now, is he comes out of an NFL Hall of Fame family, has his own ability, has good and bad tape, as you stated, that he's been knocked down a few times and was helped off the field a few times, okay? And he won't participate. He's just showing up. Look at the tape. Well, Marvin, you got good and bad tape. Okay, which one do you want us to look at? That's what I'm talking about. And because you got nil money, don't mean squat to me. Nil money don't mean squat, because what you're doing is on the field. What you're doing is on the field. The school may want you badly and pay you a lot of money, okay, but what you do on the field counts, not nil money.
So when you say that, what about these coaches that decided all they need to do is look at film to decide? Are you saying that who's my man with the Rams? McVay is not doing it right. You're saying McCarthy's not doing it right. You say who else? A couple other coaches decided they weren't going to show up to the combine, and wait a minute, and all they were going to do is go by tape, and then with the other folks tell them.
Let me put it this way: Sean McVay did this last year, okay, but he was able to find good players. Puka Nacua, he was able to find good players. The Rams have notoriously not had a first round pick, and look at what they've been doing. And so you got two sides of the coin here, and depending on the coach and the coaching staff and the supporting staff, there's somebody from the team that's at the combine, okay? Maybe not the head coach, but there's somebody from the team that's reporting back to the head coach. What did you see? How did he react? Blah 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 blah. Okay, head coach may not be there. McCarthy, I think that's a big mistake. To me, you got to be not too bright as a head coach that's on a hot seat, and thought he was going to get canned this past season, to not show up at the NFL Combine and look at players that are coming into the league. Come on, man.
I don't know if Jerry Jones had anything to do with that.
I don't know.
But him and Steven are up in the booth looking at players. So
McCarthy should he should insist, I'm a head coach. I want to be at the combine.
Oh, I agree. Listen,
okay.
I don't disagree with you on that, but I'm going to say if that's the standard and the way you feel about the coaches, why is it a somewhat of a double?
It's the coach
when
man.
it comes to the players.
He's
Well,
the
no,
coach.
because if the coach
wait a minute.
look at film and find the good player, why can't the player just do what
This ain't equal ground, man. This ain't equal.
I got
ground.
it.
The coach.
I got it.
The coach is above the player. This ain't equal ground. Okay, the player's got to prove himself. The player has to prove himself to be in order to get picked.
So how is the combine proving themselves versus all of their game film?
A willingness to showcase their talents, regardless of how good they are.
So just coming to show up is the thing.
Let me put it this way. Deion Sanders, in my opinion, is the only guy that walked in, did the 40-yard and left, in my opinion. Okay, and from what I know. Yeah. Every other player did something at the NFL Combine to showcase their talents, because they felt they had to. They felt a willingness to go there and put the work in. Any player that goes there and doesn't have a willingness to put the work in, I got a problem with.
And why is there a problem? Is it because they're not willing to put their bodies through the rigors that the NFL wants them to go through, or it's because they're taking ownership of their company, their brand, who they are? Because remember, each one of them are individual contractors. They're their own business. So they don't have to do anything they don't want to do because they're their individual contractors.
I understand that. But for example, you being a quarterback, okay, the only thing that's going to put yourself in harm's way is the 40-yard dash. The only thing that's going to put you in harm's way is the 40-yard dash.
No, that's incorrect.
Wait a minute. Let me just say this. where has there been, and I can't recall a player that's gotten hurt that does the
standing long jump,
yes.
the
Who got hurt?
vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen players pull hamstrings doing that, lifting, bench pressing. You've seen people tear their lats, tear their pec.
Let me put it this way.
Lifting.
Okay. Like I said, put themselves in harm's way. What player that you know of that you can think of right off the top of your head, the broad jump, hurt themselves in a broad jump?
I didn't say they did. I said that is a
they're not putting
it's possible. It's possible to do so because of the hamstring extension and explosion you're doing.
Or the vertical.
Dude, okay, yesterday, one of the DBs did exactly that. After the vert, his hammy got jacked up.
Well,
one of the DBs.
Let me put it
and Chop Johnson. Chop Johnson was doing a good combine, and then he had some type of issue.
The issue he had, if I'm not mistaken, he had a Jones fracture in his foot.
No, that's Kool-Aid. That's Kool-Aid.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this: a quarterback, in my opinion, should not be afraid of throwing. If he doesn't want to do anything else, he should be throwing. And I find it hard for me as a offensive coordinator, as a former quarterback or whatever, that it would be a problem if a guy trying to get into the league who's a quarterback doesn't throw. Come on, man. If he doesn't do anything else, he comes in and throws the football.
Well, let me ask you a question. What are they proving by throwing the football?
What are they not proving by throwing the football?
They're proving that by not throwing, they're proving that they can, in a game, a real situation. Wait a minute. You asked the question. Let me answer it. In a game, they can put the ball where the receiver needs to be in order to make the reception and either take a hit, get down, or continue to run. In the combine, they're throwing, and I get it, it's the unfamiliarity of a receiver's speed or something like that. That's a thing for proving why you should throw in the combine, because most times you're not throwing to a guy that you went to school with and you played ball with.
Okay.
You're throwing to a stranger. I can agree on that one, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that's a good barometer, because when you go to the team that drafts you, you're going to build a rapport with those players over the summer, not just one event.
Right.
So I don't agree. I mean, and it's your opinion, but I don't agree that the one thing a quarterback should do is throw. No,
absolutely.
Not okay. Let me put it this way:
and
if it's a talent that we know is going to be one of the top talents taken, there really is no point. But if it's a talent, let's go with Bo Nix. We know Bo Nix has very good talent, very good arm strength, right? But Bo Nix, according to some mock drafts, he's a late first, maybe second, maybe even third rounder, depending on, what happens in the draft, right? But you're going to get a quarterback that's 25, 26 years old, mature, very good arm strength, excels in a certain type of system, didn't excel in the pro style in Auburn, but did when he went to Oregon. A guy like Michael Penix. We know Michael Penix is a very, very talented quarterback. I love the kid. But we also know he has a lot of medical issues. So those guys throwing at the combine, even though we know they have the talent, we know they've got all the intangibles, but they've got something to prove. So I can see why you would have them go and throw and go do all the other stuff. But is it arrogant for Caleb and Daniels to not do it? Some people say yes, but I see it as a little bit of both. Arrogance and protecting your stature and your status in the top 5 picks.
You got to have a 1-2. Let me put it that way. You got to have, in my opinion, you have to have a 1-2, meaning you got to want to do it, not just say, well, if I throw, it can only hurt me versus help me. You have a 1-2. Like I'm a good guy here. Look at Will Levis. Look at Josh Allen. Look at these big time players with big time arms. They went out there and threw the football. Okay, they didn't have to.
Again, they were also players. Josh Allen was thought of as a project because he was so erratic. And same thing about Will Levis. So I wouldn't use them. I got it. Allen was picked high in the draft, and Levis went in the second round. But they were also players, just like Penix, just like Nix, that have question marks about their abilities, right? I question Daniels' ability. Even though it looks like the Commanders might draft him, he's going to be my new quarterback. But I question his ability to lead a team because he had 2 of the best receivers in college and a very good defense. They played in the SEC. I get it. But he put up numbers, but he didn't put up wins. That's my point. He didn't put up wins.
Well,
and he had 2 of the top 3 receivers in college football.
I gotta believe this. If I'm a kid coming out of college, I got something to prove. Regardless if I'm thinking I'm going to get picked number 1. Or I'm going to if I think I'm going to get picked further down the ladder. I got something to prove. Okay, I got to have that drive in me as a 1-2. I'm not afraid of anything or anybody. Okay.
So I got a question.
That's one of the things why I played Dion earlier. You got to have confidence in yourself. To me, that's now confidence. That smells you want to shy away from whatever you think that is not your strong suit. Come on, man.
Well, let me ask you this.
Face your fears.
Do you think their stances now will affect their status once they do get into the locker rooms?
I don't know about it getting in the locker room. I mean, no. Let me put it this way. What they do now, I wouldn't think would affect them in the locker room because they have to perform. Regardless of if you're picked number 1, 2, 10, 15, 30, you got to perform. It's a what have you done for me lately type of game. So you getting in with some older vets, a rookie walking into the locker room. Okay, you're the number 1 pick. Okay, show me why you're the number 1 pick. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're the top receiver pick. Show me what you think you are. Okay, because they're gonna get tested. They're gonna get tested. And what kind of heart, what kind of ability do you have? Okay, they're gonna get tested. Come on, man. You know that.
Well, that goes into what I was saying about they are their own corporation. They're their own business.
Okay,
and this is their business model. I can't knock them for it because coaches, pros and college, forever have been able to do exactly whatever it is they want to do, while the student or the athlete had to put up with, hey, you can't transfer. Hey, you can't, you can't do this, that, and the third. And I get it. It's the makeup of what they've accepted and what they chose to do. But now when the players have leverage, and that's what it is. Some people call it power.
They ain't got no
I
leverage.
look at it as leverage because now it's like, if you really want to see me perform, or if you really want to come after me, come see me.
Wait a minute.
Or have me come see you, because right now
I'm gonna say hell
you're
to the
wasting
no.
my time.
I'm gonna say hell to the no. This ain't college. This ain't college.
Oh my gosh.
This ain't college. You got to come to me, okay, up to a certain point, but then you got to put the right tape on the field. This ain't college where okay, you pay me no money, I'll come to you and play for you. No, the mentality is totally different.
That's not what I was saying.
You said they had to come to them.
Yes, when, like Caleb said, either he can go to the Bears and Washington, or they can come to him. He's not in the NFL yet.
No, he's not.
So putting him on NFL standards of what he should and should not do, I think that's a bad thing to do,
because he's left college. Now it's all about
and he's just a businessman.
Okay,
he's a businessman, and for his business, he believes the best method is to go this route.
That's on both sides. And that's on the both sides. Both sides. That's on the player side. And you talking about business on the player side, business on the team side. The team's got the control here. Okay, the team's got the control here. The team's got the control.
So
we're going to pick you first. Okay, we're going to pick you first. Show me why you should be picked first.
Okay.
Show me why you should be first.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong for that. What I'm saying is, he, as his sole proprietorship, his limited liability, whatever you want to call him, as his business, says you want my services. I'm not asking to go to your services, because I can go to any other service that wants me. But you have the power to pick me at this position because you hold that spot. Now, after Washington and Chicago, who's willing to come up and get him? Right? Who's willing to sacrifice a lot of picks and future picks to come and grab him? That's the question, because if you're not willing to do that, why am I showcasing my talents to you? Because that's a waste of my business's time and my business's efforts, where I can focus my business elsewhere. If you're the Raiders, you're sitting at 9 and you really want Caleb Williams, what are you doing to move up to come get me? Are you going to try to make a power play to come get me? And if you say yes, do I really believe you? Because do you have the cachet to move up?
I could care less.
Well, again,
I could care less.
You could care less, but as the player and the business, that's what I care about. Why am I wasting my time on a team that's not going to pick me or be able to?
How do you know How do you know you're wasting your time? Okay. How do you know you're wasting your time? You don't know what that team's going to do. You don't know what that team's going to do.
You're right. You're right. But that's what I'm saying. I can understand his point of view, because if the Raiders have 2 first-round picks and
so does Chicago.
No, I'm saying if the Raiders have that, right?
Yeah.
Are they able to package those up to move up to the first pick to come get me? Probably not, because they have so many holes and needs on that team. Are they willing to work with the 3rd or 4th pick because they only have to give up maybe one of the first round picks? Possibly. But at the same time, at the same time, I, as my own organization, have to worry about my entity, not your entity. Well, I care less about your entity until I'm a part of it. I could care less what you want from me until I'm a part of it. So it's a 50-50. Well, you want me to do something? Well, I need you to do this. That's where I can agree.
I'm going to play devil's
with
I'm
him.
gonna play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
A team who's drafting 10. I don't know who's drafting 10 or lower. I'm not sure who's drafting 10. Team is drafting 10. Wants Caleb Williams to come work out for them. Is he going to do it?
From what he said, he's going to go to Washington and go to Chicago, and then his team will make a decision on anybody else.
See, that's a mistake. That's a mistake because you know why it's a mistake? Because a team drafting 10, maybe even lower, a little lower, drafting 10 may need a quarterback. May need a quarterback. Okay.
And 10, I believe it's Denver, and they do need a quarterback.
Well, okay.
I believe it is Denver.
May need a quarterback with a quarterback coach and maybe draft capital to be able to make a move up to the number 1 spot or the number 2 spot, depending how much they give up. But he's going to make the business decision. Oh, you're down to number 10. You'll never draft me. Okay, I'm not coming.
That's what Deion did.
Yeah, but Deion's a Hall of Famer.
He wasn't when he did it.
Deion was
He wasn't when he did it.
Let me put it.
He
this
was
way.
fresh out of college, just like Caleb.
Let me put it this way. Once in a generation player did it. Once in a generation player. No other player has ever done that.
So again,
You think
no one knew what he could do outside of what he did.
Okay.
And what he did in college at Florida State. So for Deion, it's okay, well, you want to talk to me, New York? I'm not going to be around by pick whatever. So you're wasting my time. Caleb, and again, this is before the players had all the leverage like they do now.
Yep.
Caleb has leverage. Daniels has leverage to say, okay, well,
What kind of leverage?
clearly,
leverage?
wait a minute. Clearly, you want to deal with me. Okay. Clearly, you have the ability to deal with me. Okay. I will work with you because right now, projections are consensus number 1. And if you are 1, 2, or 3, and you have the ability to move up to take me away from Chicago, okay, I'll work with you. So at number 3 are the Patriots.
Let me put it this way.
So a better question, I think, is if the Patriots asked him to work out, would he go to the Patriots? Because they're sitting at number 3 and they're looking for a quarterback, allegedly. So would he go see them? That would be a good question because we don't know.
This is a good analogy here. And I know it's only a movie, but how about
draft day? Here we go.
About draft day.
Here we go.
The consensus number 1, and he wasn't taken. Come on, man. Because you don't know. You don't know what teams know. You don't know. So
I get it.
Everybody thinks this guy's going to get taken number 1. Bo Callahan was thinking, I'm going to get number 1. And Cleveland moved up to number 1. And Bo Callahan thought, okay, Cleveland's coming to get me. It didn't happen. He didn't go until number 7. Okay? He didn't go until number 7. So there ain't
Jerry,
no guarantee. There ain't no guarantee.
Again, Jerry, fiction versus reality.
Let me put it this way. Fiction versus reality. Okay. You've had players that you thought were going to go number 1.
Yes.
You are high, very high.
Yes.
Look at Aaron Rodgers, where people thought he was going to go high. And
yeah,
he
fell to 27.
And that's reality. And he went 20-something. Come on, man. You'd never know.
And Aaron Rodgers did all the things that you said that the player should do. He went to the combine. He talked to the people. He did all this, that, and the third. And look what happened.
Yep.
Again, players nowadays have more control
They have
over what it is they're doing and who it is that they do it with.
that's
They
perceived,
are using their brand
that's perceived control.
and their ability to leverage. And thank you to everybody looking at us on X right now.
That's
Greatly
perceived-
appreciate you guys tuning in.
That's perceived control. Let me put it that. That's perceived control. Teams still have the control of where they want to pick. If there's a negative on one of these players, and that negative is well known, he could be number one. Supposedly in the press, he could be number one, and in reality, he could drop. He could drop out, maybe even out of the first round. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying maybe even out in the first round. Look at Geno Smith. They thought he was going to get picked in the first round. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
well, Geno thought that he was going to get picked in the first round. Some people thought he was, but not everybody.
I didn't say everybody. I said a lot of people. A lot of people thought Geno was going to get picked in the first round. High. A lot of people thought Aaron Rodgers was going to get picked very high, and he didn't. He didn't go until 20-something. Okay, so okay. He's supposedly consensus. I don't pay attention to experts. So Caleb Williams, they can find out something going on with Caleb Williams because every player is not perfect.
Okay? Understood. But I think you're vilifying Caleb for exercising his business sense versus what you as a fan want to see.
And I'm going to emphasize this. They're not in Kansas anymore.
Yes, and it's all business. That's the point.
On both sides.
Yes. And you can't say the guy should do this or he needs to do this just because you as a fan think that it's bad because he's not showcasing everything that everybody needs to see. No, he's being selective. That's just like saying don't get me wrong when I say this, okay? I'm just using an example. That's like saying you going into a Gucci store and you only got $10 in your pocket or to your name. Just because you can go to that Gucci store and look around, you ain't buying nothing because you can't. That's the thing. He's the Gucci store, and Denver, or let's use another team that's down there, New Orleans, can't afford to shop. So you're saying, this is the analogy I'm using, let them come on in the store or bring the store to them because you never know. But if I'm the store, why am I getting up and moving to somebody that might not even be able to come get me or we know can't come get me? Why provide them with the stuff that I'm going to give the exclusive seller or the exclusive buyer to? The guys that can come in there with the black cards, with all the other stuff, and purchase whatever it is they want to purchase. Yeah, you have availability to me, but do I necessarily have to cater to you? No, because you don't have the money to come into my store. So when you look at it from a business standpoint, he's doing his business, organizations are doing their business, and you might not like the way either does their business.
A lot of teams look at that as a negative. That's a lot of teams look at that as a negative. Even teams,
and then they're not going to come get them. They're not going to go shopping in that store. That's the point. If you don't think that I'm good enough, or because of this I'm not set, then I'm probably not meant for you.
You're probably not, because the fact that, well, you don't know that. You have to have a willingness. Okay, you don't have the willingness to even give it a try because you never know. We may come up and get you. But, okay, now you're going to blow us off? Okay, no problem. No problem.
I am not saying you are wrong in that thought process, but what I'm saying is, as a business, I understand. Because I'm not going to. Okay, let's do this. DoorDash versus Uber Eats.
Okay. As long as they give me the food.
As long as they give you the food. Okay. But if you know that DoorDash isn't delivering groceries, but Uber Eats is, if you know that DoorDash charges you $5 extra more than Uber Eats, are you still going to mess with DoorDash?
How quick does DoorDash deliver versus Uber Eats? That makes a difference. If DoorDash or Uber Eats delivers quicker and I have to spend $5 more because they deliver quicker,
and but you don't have all the services that Uber Eats does. So they charge you more, but you get less service. Are you still going to go to that DoorDash? And I'm only using that as an example because
if DoorDash and Uber Eats delivers the food, but one of them delivers the food quicker.
And groceries. That's what I'm saying. I said Uber Eats delivers groceries as well. DoorDash does not.
Well, DoorDash does not deliver groceries. Then I'm going to Uber Eats or whatever, vice versa. Okay, because the fact is they don't deliver what I want.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So if the Broncos deliver what I want, why am I entertaining them?
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Oh, I understand. Know that. I understand. Again, I understand where you're coming from. I truly do.
You don't know that.
But as the mind of that person, I can see why they chose to go the route they did.
We've been going back and forth this too long. I mean, let's move on to something else. Let's move on to something else.
Okay, so let's talk about UFC. Here we go. In tonight's fights, it's a grudge match. Shane O'Malley is the champion. These are one step above bantamweight. So bantamweight is, are you even paying attention?
Yeah, I'm paying attention. Go right ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. All right. So the one person, Shane O'Malley's lost a few times. Not many, but a few. But the one person that has stopped him came via an injury during the fight, whereas he broke his ankle during the fight by stepping wrongly, something like that.
Okay.
He lost a decision to him as well when they were both trying to get into the UFC.
Okay.
This individual, Vera, is a bad man.
Okay.
He likes to put people to sleep and he likes to fight. O'Malley wants to finish him because of the way he's lost the first two times to him. By the way, the other championship fight that I told you about where the man was coming out like an old guy and whatnot versus a young guy, he got put to sleep, unfortunately. So it hurt my soul when he lost and the way he lost.
You know, I read up on that, and I like the young guy because the young guy was hungrier, and the other guy I think he just lost a fight. The older
he didn't lose a fight. He was the champion.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, in this current one with Shane O'Malley and Vera, there promised to be fireworks. O'Malley is a Floyd Mayweather type of talking that talk, Muhammad Ali in the cage. Takes chances, has knockout power, but can get caught and has been caught. It promises to be a good fight. I expect a lot of striking in this matchup, but I know you're not going to, even though you have a service where you can watch the fights. I encourage you to just either watch the preliminaries or the main card, or both. You have nothing else better to watch tonight.
Well, let me just okay. All right. I'm not a. You know, my wife just went out, and I'm sitting home by myself, so I may. Let me put it this way: I'm not guaranteeing because I may forget that it's on, but I may.
Okay. She's gonna be gone all day?
She went out with her sister, so God knows
Oh,
when she's
gone
coming.
all day.
Yeah.
All right.
God knows when she's coming back.
I
Anyway,
understand.
anyway. Let me put it this way. This kid is, and I want to get back to the combine because this I feel is important. This kid is 6 feet,
Okay.
221 pounds, ran a 4.3340, vertical jump 41 and a half, broad jump 10.9. Didn't know about this kid. All I can tell you is, people, keep an eye on this kid.
Who?
That kid is Isaiah Guerrero from
Yes, Gorado.
yeah,
Yes.
from Louisville.
Yes.
Keep
I
an eye
mentioned
on
that earlier.
keep an eye on this kid. Because we talked about his speed, but now I have his 10-yard split, which is pretty good, 1.55. His vertical, which is really good, 41 and a half, and his broad jump, which is not bad, it's not too shabby, which is 10.9. He's 6 foot, 221, big boy, and he can run a 4.33. Look out for this kid.
So this is one of those cases where I think the combine helped him move up.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
it's still going to be based off of his tape. Why do you think George Kittle was drafted in the 5th round? Combine, he had a very good combine, but his tape at Iowa wasn't that great because he blocked most of the time. And turns out he's one of the better tight ends in the NFL. But the combine didn't do much for him. It showed, okay, well, he's a possibility.
This kid is a really good possibility. I'm anxious to see if and when he gets drafted. Because if he goes to a team like Minnesota, I'm trying to think of some other teams that may need him, or maybe the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a gem because look like he's got the speed, look like he's got the explosiveness, in my opinion, and to be a quality player. And I wouldn't say a game changer, but a type of player that will be fantasy relevant.
Okay.
Quickly.
Well, with that being said, we're not going to be on the show long enough to look at the receivers and quarterbacks. But what are you expecting out of those areas?
Well,
of the players that we know will be performing.
Okay. Let me just say this. I'm looking forward to the 2 LSU wide receivers, Neighbors and I'm trying to think what the other guy's name is.
I got you.
I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys produce in the drills. Quite naturally, you're not going to see Marvin Harrison do squat, which is, I think, a mistake.
I don't think so, but okay.
I think it's a mistake. It is what it is. Okay. I think, let me put it this way. I do have numbers for none of these guys in the vertical. None of these name guys, except Keon Cole, Jermaine Burton from Alabama, Troy Franklin from. Let me put it this way. I'm anxious to see what these guys are going to do on the 40 times, because I got about 7 players here, and none of the top 4 or 5 that have done the vertical. Maybe not yet, but maybe in the process. That see how explosive they are. You know what? That's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about the wide receivers definitely tomorrow, because I'm seeing. Let me just put it this way: Jalen Coker, 42.5 from Holy Cross. I know you probably never heard of him. I never heard of him. Jalen Coker. Ryan Flournoy from South Mississippi State did a 39.5. Troy Franklin, I heard of Troy Franklin from Oregon, did a 39 flat. Jermaine Burton from Alabama, 38.5. Keon Coleman, heard of him from Florida State, 38. Javon Baker, 37. And Jacob Cowing from Arizona. These are the only verticals that I have that did a 36. I'm anxious to see some of these rest of these guys and where they wind up in the vertical, and if they do the 40, what they did in the 40, because that quite naturally, and the broad jump, and to see how explosive these are. Flournoy, who he's got the 39.5 and from Southeast Missouri State. He did a 35.9 in a vertical, and he did a broad jump at 11 feet. He's got some. Coker, 10.8.
Okay, so you're going to talk about these people tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
With that being said, you mentioned this is like the fantasy football part of the combine. I'm not impressed so far, offensively. I'm not.
Okay.
But I am interested in seeing those top 5 picks, because I believe those top 5 picks will have a left tackle, 2 quarterbacks, a wide receiver, and a wild card, a player that nobody thought would be in the top 5.
I think it's going to be another wide receiver.
Some people think it's old boy from LSU or old boy from Washington, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I see somebody jumping up to either grab another quarterback or another left tackle, because I think it's only like 3 really solid left tackles in this draft. Alt being one, the kid from Penn State being the other, and the kid from Washington being the last one. But we'll see. Anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this show has been brought to you by
Hey Hero, don't be a zero. 15% off with military discount. 624coffeecompany.com for more info. Visit that site. Visit the website. Verify status. Stop drinking dirty water. You deserve great coffee. Great coffee for great people. That's 624coffeecompany.com.
There you go. And with that being the end of the show, I want to thank JC for coming on, having so much energy, and being who he is. And we love y'all. We're going to see y'all next week.
Peace.
I didn't even hit the button yet. We out, y'all. Bye.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember,
face.
because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Derek's going to get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's game.